September, I did a middle grade fall TBR, and I wanted to circle back and let you know what my ratings were for what I read through. In no particular order, here they are. The first one is Ronia, the Robber's Daughter by Astrid Lindgren. This is about Ronia, and she is raised in a castle among a band of robbers, and she then meets a friend who is the son of her father's arch enemy. I love all of Astrid Lindgren's work, and this one was the same. There was a little bit of magic, a little bit of whimsy, fantasy, but also a lot of realism, and loved it. So next, I have Clive Barker's A Thief of Always. In a house of 1,000 wishes, everything Harvey ever dreamed of is now real, and so are a few of his nightmares. I give this 1.5, maybe 2 stars. The characters fell flat. The storyline was disjointed. Overall, just not a pleasant read for me. This is a Newbery Medal winner by Neil Gaiman called The Graveyard Book. It's basically a boy growing up in a graveyard being raised by ghosts. Neil Gaiman is a master storyteller, and The Graveyard Book does not disappoint. Highly recommend this 5-star read. Next, I have The Castle Behind the Thorns. This is a boy wakes up in a long abandoned castle and he has no idea how he got there. So now he finds the castle's long lost heir, and they start kind of trying to repair this broken castle. There's magic and forgiveness and a mystery in there. This reminded me of a Sleeping Beauty retelling. It would be perfect to pair with a Middle Ages or medieval history unit study. It was a little bit confusing, but it was a solid 3. Next, this is A Pinch of Magic by Michelle Harrison, and this is 3 sisters trapped by an ancient curse, 3 magical objects with the power to change their fate. Will they be enough to break the curse, or will they lead the sisters even deeper into danger? I give this 3.5 stars. I actually really enjoyed it, and I've even handed it off to my oldest, who's 11, and she'll love it. It's a great story for sisters and for redemption. Just a really cute, fun read with a little bit of spooky thrown in there. The next is The Night Gardener by Jonathan Auxier, and it's about 2 abandoned Irish siblings who travel to work as servants in a creepy, crumbling English manor house. But the house and its inhabitants are not quite what they seem. I love Jonathan Auxier's writing, but this one is my least favorite of his. It still has that moral lesson in it that you'll find in all of his books. And I will say it really was creepy, so I gave it 4.5 stars. And then my last paperback is The High King. This is the Peridian series written by Lloyd Alexander. I've read the others in the series, and so this will be the last in that series, and I'll finish it. And this one is a Newbery Medal winner also. It has witches and cauldron-born creatures. This was a hard one to rate because it is the end of a series of 5 books that really feel like it's one book that's just been broken up into 5 separate printings. But all of that aside, if you decide to read this series, the ending is highly satisfying and everything gets wrapped up, and I do think everyone should read this series, so I will give it 5 stars simply to encourage you to at least pick up the first one and see if you like it, and don't let the creepy Disney movie detract you from trying to read this series. Okay, next I'm gonna move into hardbacks. So the first one is The Moonstone Castle Mystery, which is a Nancy Drew. It is written by Carolyn Keene. Nobody actually named Carolyn Keene wrote this. It was a whole conglomerate of people. You guys, I had such high hopes for picking up the Nancy Drew series again and reading through it. And I have to say, I've been reading a lot of young female sleuth type genre of books, and Nancy Drew is at the bottom of the barrel for me. Is that terrible? So I gave this 1.5, and I don't know. Next is The 68 Rooms by Marianne Malone, and this is just a story about a girl who goes on a field trip. She discovers a key, I think, that makes her small enough to enter secret rooms at the Art Institute of Chicago. I gave this 3.5 stars. I think it's a great introduction into art history and museum life and even historical events, but it seemed to just take a really long time to get to the actual adventure. And I was kind of left thinking like, come on, I get it. Let's get to the adventure already. The next two is the Premeditated Myrtle series. It's a Myrtle Hardcastle mystery. So obviously middle grade murders. This series was such a pleasant surprise. Like I said, I've been reading a lot of young female sleuth type genre of books, and Premeditated Myrtle is by far my favorite. She's funny, she's affable, she's clever, and I will say there is a lot of violence and kind of anatomical gore in this as she's trying to figure out the whodunit part of it, but I loved the Myrtle Hardcastle series. And then last is The Wonderling by Mira Bartok. Basically, there's these foundlings that are half animal, half human that end up going to an orphanage, and I think he actually only has one ear. And they go to, it looks like Miss Carbuncle's home for wayward and misbegotten creatures. I loved this book. It has a very steampunk kind of feel. Both of my kids actually read it along with me, so it's divided into 3 parts, and each of us read part 1 and then talked about it. We read part 2 and then part 3, and we just really loved this story, so I give it 5 stars. Thanks so much for watching. I really enjoyed having this fall middle grade cozy time to read some of these books. As always, leave in the comments below some of your favorite fall middle grade books. Until next time.